So let's not just use UHS, let's stick to GU. So we have 2 days in a row. So now just really try to focus not on the whatever, the overall daily cycle perfection. Just focus on the minor cycles we do. Okay, now we're just using minor cycles left and right wherever we have it. Okay.
So starting from the higher time frame, huh?
We just do intraday cycles now. Okay, we don't care about the higher time frames now. Okay, we just do literally cycles, like literally baby cycles. Okay.
You mean like build up inducement mitigation, like
exactly.
non-stop?
Exactly. So that's
okay.
right. Okay, let me just water. Okay, so what do you see on this cycle already? Like, do you identify already as a completed cycle even in Asia? Where's your first cycle you have in Asia?
The first thing what I would see right now is Asia. The first thing what I see right now in Asia is just well, I don't know.
So if you literally start again, just do intraday stuff now. So the day started here, right? So where's your first cycle? What did they do?
It was trending down a little bit.
So it started here. So if you take this starting point, what do they do from here on?
They're pushing mark up.
So how would you mark up your build up?
So
exactly. Very good. So you have your channel. Where's your structure inducement to the high side?
Structure inducement to the high side is looking
right
like
here, right?
That. Yep.
Exactly. What would be the ideal scenario mitigated if this would have gone where?
Here.
Exactly. But it just missed it, right?
Yeah.
But obviously that would be your completed cycle phase. Perfect, right? Which again, sometimes it happens that it doesn't reach the mitigation. But that technically is your first cycle that in here. So what's the potential you can trade? Obviously, you can mark up this for your own understanding. So this would be a mitigation area for this baby cycle here, right?
Like it mitigates something like that. Sometimes they take like the whole zone from M15, right?
Yeah, but again, let's just stick to one time frame only and just call this one just missed. It is what it is, okay? But just so you get used to these cycles. So let's say this vector candle is missing still. That would be nice. Vector candle high side would have mitigated that. That would be a perfect cycle, okay?
Okay.
It just missed that. So where's your still entry opportunity though? So this led to the cycle completion out of the channel, right? So where's your breakout structure for this cycle?
Breakout structure of the cycle is right around here.
Exactly. So that means after this point, if it comes back in here, could you have traded? Yes or no?
Yep.
Exactly. But it just didn't do that. So do we cry about that?
No.
Exactly. We look for the next cycle.
Okay.
Right? So where's your next cycle?
The next cycle is building something around over here.
But then you have to mark it a little bit different. If you want to take this one, you can take this one, but let's see if you find the cycle that did.
Like what's the first thing what I see is like the first with the building something like here. Like
very good. That makes more sense. Right? So the building equal lows.
Yep.
Right. And then some sort of false breakout structure, whatever, if you want to take it like this, complex pullback nonsense, whatever you want to call it. Right. But what's the idea? What's the actual thing they're trying to do? You obviously can see it on hindsight very easily.
They're building liquidity for buyers. And
exactly.
Then here's
and then what mitigate obviously the imbalance to go lower, right?
Yeah.
So that's your, again, not so nice little builder, but you have your fake, again, your little inducement higher, whatever, some sort of pullback, but their own intention was just to mitigate and then go lower. Okay, so that's your second cycle. What is this already? You can see that already what they're doing here. Or technically not even this, but even more like this, right?
Yeah.
Again, what is this then? If that's your build-up, what is these candles? You know what this is called?
Vector.
Exactly. So is this cycle technically completed to the downside?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You see? So you don't need necessarily more because you have your build-up. Obvious vector candles, speed, they even do a little bit lower. You don't care. What do you care about?
And you need a mitigation.
Yeah, if you look to the left, but there's already, we see there's nothing really going on there. So we can pull something out of ours, but let's just not do that. Okay. So what's again, if this is the build-up, that's the inducement, what's the next thing you should look for?
Just wait, right?
And for what?
Inducement.
No.
Also,
We have the inducement.
Mitigation.
Before that.
No, where are we now?
Okay, so you're literally right here, right? So you have your
Yeah.
vector candles. So what do you wait for? Sean, very good.
Okay.
So again, build up, inducement. And now technically this cycle is done. So you could look for what? Upside, right?
Okay.
So what do you wait for next?
Confirmations for going up, like a break of.
Very good. Where would it be? What's the push that led to the new low?
It is this here.
Exactly. Right, but be careful from where? Exactly, from the wick. Yeah. Exactly, like this. Right. So just again looking at this cycle. Right. So if you continue this now, display. What is this?
Break of structure.
So technically, again, obviously that's a very stupid example because that is Asia low. But you see, technically, this baby cycle is completed. You see what I mean? You had your build-up, you had your vector, you had your break of structure. Technically, again, this is something you should not take. If it works, you should at least understand why the fuck it worked. You see? So let's see what actually happened. Right? So it taps in there. Obviously, that's Asia low, but technically, again, yes. And now technically it mitigates these areas. Of course, it's Asia low. That's why it just induces by a pip. That's why you should never take this trade. But for this cycle, it is completed. And do what?
To go high.
Until where?
Until the next liquidity is out.
Exactly. Very good. And we had exactly a similar example, I think, the day before, right? And we had almost similar like this, right? But you see how it's based on the baby cycles. And obviously this Asia low just confirms that you should just be careful about this trade in here. Maybe you look something trades in here and here and here after it takes out this, right? But then as you said very well, next target is this. Makes sense? Based on baby cycles. So let's see if you continue. Right, so technically, there you go. So again, that would be maybe your buy opportunities again, because technically in baby induced Asia low, right? But again, you're still trading this cycle completion. Right, what is this? New build-up into what? Into inducement. You see they're building up this little baby cycle.
M1 or M1, sorry. Or
whatever, you can use M1 also if you want to.
Yeah.
Right, but again, just for understanding the bigger pictures before we even consider digging into trade opportunities, right? Again, you see the bigger picture, you see the build-up, again, a channel, perfect. Now the channel getting induced.
Yes.
Perfect. So again, would it make sense now they can go higher?
Yes.
Exactly. So how would we trade it? Technically, what's your next mitigation zone? Somewhere in here, probably, right? Whatever. Just on the hindsight on the 5-minute. Or again, something like, technically this candle or whatever, if you take the order block thing, this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Just inducing this little cycle, trading away from this cycle. So you have a baby cycle in a minor cycle, right? Makes sense?
Yeah.
So now it can go obviously higher. Always, or whatever, it takes even one more time into it, whatever it is, what it is. We don't get confused about it. Again, that's how they confuse everyone, but not us, right? So what else? What's the next thing?
It's starting to build like I see it like right now.
No, leave this. This because this is your baby cycle. Leave that because that baby cycle was completed to give you this potential buy trade, right?
Okay. Would you consider this whole thing what's creating right now new as a build-up?
Very good. That's how you do it. You have to do it.
Yep.
So what's the next thing you wait for?
To induce it.
Exactly. Where's your next inducement zone of the structure? If you look to the left.
What it could induce this here.
Exactly. So you literally can mark that up because you're waiting for the build-up getting induced into cycle, right?
So,
good. So is this cycle completed? Or this one you marked up?
As a previous one, it's completed, but this is still ongoing.
Exactly. Very good. So let's see.
Yep.
I personally would mark it like this. right? Like from this, again, 3 touches of a trend line. I love to do that, right? Obviously, exactly. See, and then obviously this down ones. But guess what is this now? You know
Vector.
what these candles are?
Vector.
Vector candle into what?
Into the minor inducement and the thing here that didn't fill.
Exactly. So obviously this is Asia high now this time. Same shit as down there. Would be not ideally if it touches, but technically for cycle completion, yes. Right. But that's again sometimes why a lot of people get confused. Like, oh, why did it not take out this or whatever? Why did it not take out Asia high? Because cycle completions. Right. Again, these things are just for our orientation for the next liquidity zones. Right. But as you obviously noticed earlier, this was the cycle that missed this mitigation. We have had this before. And if you remember this day before also, we're trading still away from the medium inducement. So it's not perfect all the time, but at least you have to understand the cycle completions. And as you marked it up perfectly fine with the order block in here, it at least tapped the order block, right? Again, we should not ever take an extreme mitigation in here, but we look for what? Is this cycle now complete? Yes or no?
Yes, the build up inducement into mitigation. Yep.
Very good. Okay, so what's the next thing we do?
Enter.
No, I mean, here you again, same thing as here. You could, not ideal because it's trading into Asia high, but at least for understanding purposes, yes. Do we have more better opportunities maybe later? Probably.
Yes.
Right. So that's why you should not rush into trades. Like not just say, oh, completed, enter. No, wait for confirmations, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what is your confirmation?
Well, at least first of all, we look at the entry helper or
just stick to the 5 minute. Just stick to the 5 minute so you see the bigger picture.
So not a limit because it's on the Asia high. That's how you taught us, of course. And here, okay. Yes.
No, like what do you wait for?
So, break of structure.
Oh yeah, but where is it?
Where would it be? Oh, sorry, I don't understand.
No, maybe my question was a bit also. So where is it? Where's the exactly? You can take this one, and that's technically the only one you have on a 5, right?
Yeah.
That's all you do. You just wait. Yeah, there's no need to put out like a trade there. You could, but that's not the point of it, right? It's about actually understanding what's going on and making confirmations to actually make it more the probability higher that it works out, right? So just wait. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Right, okay, you don't get too excited. There's no need of jumping in right away. Right? So just wait.
M1? No.
No, still nothing there. Obviously now technically maybe you have something on the M1, but we don't care about this for now. Just focus on the bigger picture.
Okay.
Right, okay, there you go. What's going on here?
Break of structure.
So what could we slowly get interested in?
Entry.
Where is it?
In this case, it would be something like this. The only thing I see is this
exactly.
here.
100% correct.
Worst case here.
100% correct. No.
No?
We definitely should look for the extreme.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah, and what a surprise. Obviously, it tapped in there. The only thing in this one, it just fucking took you out. It is what it is. You can never expect that, but it's technically a valid trade. And obviously, still at this one left for a little bit. Still Asia high. So what is it? Is it a valid play? 100% it is. That's just, again, one of these rare incidents where it just takes out this, but not takes out this. So depending on how you put your stop loss, if you put it up here, you got out of it. If not, you're still in it. If you put it above here, still good.
As a fake view as well.
No, this is just actually, if you take it, it is just an L. That's what it is. You cannot make something up here. You just have to think you did everything right. And if you took this L in here with this wick, it just is what it is. Like there's nothing you can make out of it. The only thing obviously you can pretend is not putting a stop above here, but above here, because it's literally a 1 pip difference. And that would probably save you the L, depending on spread, but it's GU, it should be good, right?
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the cycle completion right here, right? You have the break of structure downside. technically valid mitigation. Never closed up this one, so it's still valid, right? So there you go. So, okay, let's see what happens after. Right, so perfect. Obviously loves in our face, right, as it obviously moves down. What's our next target though?
The liquidity here,
Exactly.
the people who entered after the BOS.
Exactly. So where is the next target properly?
Here.
Exactly. Low of Asia. This time it makes very much sense, right? Because we have equal lows of Asia low. That's literally a present.
Yep. Okay. So.
Right. So obviously we biting our ass because we got this L probably in here, but everything else was perfect fine. But guess what? The good thing about that is if we get an L in here, 100% of other people take an L here as well. So if we take an L, literally the whole fucking world takes an L. So that's nothing to cry about. It is what it is. Okay. So there's no re-entries, there's no lets, there's no EDMs. And now obviously we're entering this triple bottom. Fine. Right. And now, boom, grabbed it.
Would you consider everything here equal lows after that?
So now obviously you grabbed it. Now the equal lows is getting induced and also Asia low is getting induced. Perfect. Right. So obviously now we can look to the left to see if there's any more valid cycles to the zones we want to grab to the left. Is there?
I just see here a little bit of a fake
in
BOS.
terms of liquidity grab, is this the major liquidity grab, or should we maybe go higher and then lower to grab something of this?
No, I think like here this was this looks like the move of the day, and here and everything down here is like no.
Okay, but should this be done and just go higher, or is there still liquidity to the left and we never grabbed something to the left and we should aim for this one?
No, it's we have room to the downside.
Exactly. So, but what is this again now? Is this a cycle completion with taking out the build-up, channeling downwards, inducement low into equal lows? Is this a valid build-up? Yes or no? Or like technically even not even a build-up anymore, but now an inducement low? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Perfect. Then we just obviously can mark it up as a build-up inducement. Right? Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so what's the next thing we do?
Build up inducement and then wait for confirmation.
So now you go for 1 minute. Right, so you know this is your inducement. Perfect. So what's the next confirmations you look for?
BOS at least.
Where is it? That's the aggressive one, or if you take the more cleaner one.
Yeah,
exactly. Because now you have another cycle completion. Right, so let's see what's going on. Well, you have a breaker structure. You can have a let. What is going on? Where's your lost imbalance zone?
I think it's here somewhere.
Exactly. Is it a let also?
Yep.
So can we take this trade?
Yes.
We can.
Yes, we can.
Right. So perfect. So the only question is how far we can take it.
Where the next liquidity is like, it would be in this case the equal lows. Is the equal highs here?
Technically you can, but again, then it's very optimistic in terms of, okay, you never induced it here, so maybe induce it now, but then it's what's the point of inducing it to your left? Maybe this is done. So yeah, technically I 100% agree. That's again target picking of how crazy you want to go. But yeah, technically you can aim for this or even Asia high, but it's more unlikely because again, as we looked at yesterday, this was the inducement again high, which mitigated something. We had still medium inducement high, message around like all the freaking time. Now it comes even back a third time. Will it come back the fifth time? Again, a 17th time or just is done. You never know. So that's target picking of how we do it, of how it makes sense. Again, maybe we take very optimistic target like Asia midline again, something like this, or maybe the extreme mitigation, or we go really crazy and aim for this twin taking or Asia high. But this again, those two are the more very aggressive targets, right?
And it doesn't even took a medium
Exactly.
inducement.
That
That's
on top
reasonably,
of that, we never
yeah.
really induced something to your left. You just have a Minicycle play again intraday, but never really took something to your left. So the only question is how hard are we gonna go, and rather project it out. You just take some off whatever Asian mid or maybe the mitigation, something like this, right?
Yeah. Like minor liquidity, for example, M1, right? Like
Exactly.
here, for example, this isn't, yeah, that's too, I think would you say it is worth taking that? No.
Which one? This one? No, you definitely can take this buy for sure. But the only question is how far you take it. Like you can't just say, okay, maybe this is mob my trap, maybe mitigation areas in here, then it makes sense, kind of thing, because you're taking liquidity grab of Asia mid, makes sense, and that's your liquidity grab technically, then mitigate something in here and then goes lower. That's definitely a possible outcome. But again, you should not project, but so just make sure you take some off at least in these areas, and best case it gets up in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see the 5 exactly. Let's continue.
So what happens here again is like now if it's where it induces down, but this is also like as we've seen here a channel again.
Exactly.
So it is inducing now to the
It's
upside.
all about the mini cycles all the time, left and right, everywhere. Right?
Yeah, now it's inducing to the upside, and so
you're not
now,
yet. It's just obviously giving a reaction, right? But obviously, yeah, we're getting there.
yes, is it inducing? No, it's not inducing. Sorry, it's reacting on the Asia midline. Here's something like kind of POI.
Not yet. Not yet. Right. So now it's just messing around. And we have to be careful about making stuff up. Right now, it's getting a little bit more interesting, right? Because you can see what again?
Yeah.
Exactly. So slowly but surely, getting something we would be interested in.
So now it's inducing to the upside again, like it's an build-up inducement into build-up
and exactly again, obviously would be nice if it induces a structure. Now it just induces the liquidity point, which is Asia midline.
It's building also equal highs.
Yeah, but that's an equal highs. That's definitely equal highs.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Nicholas, have a good one. We catch up on Sunday, I would assume. Oh yeah, Cam had the same markup. There we go.
So I would look if it is all. Oh, no, it's not.
No. And now obviously you can see what they do. Do you see vectors out of the buildup?
Vector into the POI of
there you go, right? You see
the moves that took out the last sellers here. Yes, so a build-up inducement and some build-up inducement mitigation.
Yeah, so technically you can jump on the 1 minute because this cycle is now completed. So you look for what?
Timing. And we have
timing. What's the timing on this one?
toe.
Oh yeah, then definitely even 10 times nicer.
Would you say this here is the how do you call it? It's a break of structure.
Not really. If anything, if you want to take anything, you have to take this one, right?
Yeah, this is too much.
Yeah, that's a little bit. Yeah, that's not it. And if you want to look at your baby cycle, there you have your channel. There's your vector candles, right? Oh, that's nicer. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Baby channel, baby vectors into the mitigation. Really nice, actually. Magic manipulation minutes. If it gives us a break of structure, we could be very interested.
That's very good. Yeah. And you know the funny thing is like this is like this is easy, you know. I wasn't.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it? Yeah. Right? It's not that complicated.
You know, it's like I wasn't seeing this that way because I was only focusing on structure being induced.
Exactly. You know? That's the thing, though. It's not about structure at all. Like nobody gives a shit about structure. That's the truth of it. Like structure literally confuses the shit out of you. The cycles that make it so clean, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, but the cycles it's like everywhere and much easier for like.
Yeah, and then the only thing you look at breaker structure is literally after a cycle. That's the only structure we care about. Yeah, but see, that's how you should do it. See, now you have your breaker structure. Lovely. right? So if it obviously comes back, which technically it did already with this candle.
like it
Not
can
really
like
nice. Maybe this one, but not really something you could take nicely, if that makes sense.
Well, it depends. Like if you, it wouldn't be so that bad. Like I draw it. I draw it like this.
Yeah, well, potentially, yeah, that's what we had. Whatever.
Come on. They didn't reach that. They didn't reach that. But okay, yes.
What the fuck is that, Cam? D&D. What the fuck is that?
So.
Oh, Daniel. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. The new law firm. There you go. Nice, makes sense. D&D. Okay. Got confused there. Thought you referred to a chart.
So the target will be like obvious. The obvious is the safe is the obvious liquidity here to be taken out, and the other liquidity is like to be taken out like this slower, because in the end of the day, I think this still is liquidity here because people enter here on the lower time from on the buy and have to be taken out sooner or later, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So see, that's all I do all day long. But now guess what that is?
This is I don't know if I see it right. Like I see something like that.
Yeah, like that's not only what you see, that's literally what it is. But you see, like, just if you pay attention, well, again, what is this then?
The endorsement.
Yeah, and the vector candle, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see, like, it's all there. It's literally all there. So now you look to your left.
So on the left we have this fake viewers. Like I'm drawing it. I will draw it here.
Yeah, but is that like a significant point? Yes or no?
Like for POI or for endorsement?
Obviously, we look for inducement, is it?
Well, it's people entered here like break of.
Yeah, but is this a significant point? If they induce that makes a difference to the chart.
Yes.
Why not this?
Why not both?
Yeah, but what is more significant?
I would say like more significant. It's like that because here.
Yeah, so why don't we focus on this one?
Yeah. Okay.
You see, like, why would you take a random one inside of the point?
Be honest, maybe because of FOMO, like
that's what you need to get rid of it for sure. And again, if you just focus on what is actually there and what you want to see, then again, you don't getting too early into trade also. Let's say, okay, you're having vector candles, but just because it's right there now, you're making stuff up. Just look to your left and see what makes sense, right? And then again, you're not getting into the stage of making shit up. Especially then if you like draw this channel properly, right? And you see, okay, you technically are in the vector, yes, but you don't want to project the vector when it ends. If you want to, then take a structure point, which makes sense. Okay.
So like this point here was let's also like the yesterday low. Okay, here.
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday lows are very juicy targets, right?
Yes. So
vector candles, left and right, perfect.
New York Open around. Yeah. So.
What a surprise!
Yeah.
What a surprise! So is that now an inducement cycle done? Yes or no?
This is an inducement, yes.
Yeah. So what do we do?
So yeah, we are looking for entry opportunity.
Yeah, let's see in the one if you can.
Here. Oh, I'm not sorry. Like, wait.
So you already can see the low is very low already, right? So if it comes back, perfect. If not, then not. Right. So what's going on here now?
Equal highs.
No, that's not equal highs. It's more like, yeah, like nothing. Just a pullback. But what is the entry up saying? Do we get like lets or something like that, or is it already a let? Like, can this be a let down there, or is it a let now?
I would say it's a let. It's a possible let right now.
Yeah, so you already probably can assume that it will not come back down there, and there's not an entry because you will not enter it here and put your stop below there. That's like crazy. That's like, what is it, like 6 pips or something? That's like insane, right? So we don't really care about that, and we just probably assume, yeah, that's it.
I'm not putting stop loss over here. That's too risky. Yeah.
No, you should never do that.
Yeah.
Like obviously you can wait for like something like this and then maybe mitigation here. Yes, but that would be fine.
Mhm.
Let's see if it gets us technically in one candle. Not sure if that's something you would to take.
Would you enter here if it's make a push high? Would you enter here?
I mean, I would enter that down there, but yeah, but that's just stupid. You should not do that.
No,
So
if you use mitigation of LEDs, what do you mean? I mean,
yeah, obviously in this scenario you can wait until here, but that's almost guaranteed you were gonna miss that. Then again, you have to find something in the scenarios. Then either you can take the seconds or nothing, but yeah, technically, do you have the seconds by any chance?
seconds I have, of course.
Okay, so technically that's your baby breaker structure, that's your baby mitigation, but that's again just very, if you really want to get in fucking bad, then you could do that, but you should not do it. See what I mean?
Yeah, like 0.1 pips.
And the 30, okay. Sean with the Hawkeyes. There you go. But you see what they're doing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Right? So guess what? What they do? Nothing yet. That's the true answer. So let's just wait.
So what they're doing right now is like
we had an inducement cycle low, right? We had the inducement to the left. Perfect.
So now what they do is like we can target liquidity, the obvious liquidity right here.
Yes. So the only question is, where do we are on a bigger cycle? Do we look for inducement of the medium inducement, or do we trade away from the medium inducement still, which was high? Obviously, we have an inducement of yesterday's low, but again, remember, these areas up here still were all medium inducements we want to trade away from, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, what's the extreme of this? Should we induce that? Potentially we can. Is it necessary that we induce it high? Not potentially.
Can come here, right?
Also check to the left, Cam says. Let's do that actually.
To the left?
Give it away a bit. Yeah, look to the left. Maybe zoom out a little bit more. So we had the inducement of yesterday's low. That's obviously why we get a choose your reaction from here. Zoom out more.
1 hour?
No, not the hour, but just the chart. Just zoom out. Can you zoom a little bit?
Just
can you make it small? Like it's like this. Yeah, and obviously we have not really induced anything to left other than this yesterday's low, right? We still have this juicy. Whatever, at this point almost triple bottom, right? Obviously, and of course all this craziness down there also, which even mocked up very nicely, the major one, and you got induced later with your own buy, I think, your own sell. So you mocked it up pretty good yourself, if that's the mock-up which actually happened. Right, because again, you marked up the liquidity area, maybe not major, but definitely medium, right? And then you took your buy, I think, somewhere in here, whatever, and then you got an L, something like that. Was that the one you took?
Yeah, because
so you literally trade against your own your own markup, which is not good.
Yeah.
Because you marked it up actually perfectly fine. Like you had the inducement, and then you want to trade away from it, right? So you see that that's the target, obviously, and whatever. If you're not sure, you take this target instead. But obviously these ones really juicy, and if you're really being really not sure about it, then at least time for this ones, right? Because again, here's something. Obviously, better target is this. Best target obviously is this. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Actually, go on a 5 maybe, and let's just see what they did.
So what they do. Right now they are inducing to the upside because here's liquidity left.
Exactly, Daniel. Daniel just said left-sided trader. That's where we always should be. Always look to the left to be right. Okay, and there you go. Nice. So what do they do? Making people excited.
New build-up.
New
people are entering here.
There you go.
Here's it took people out first of all. Like
So
this.
what can we do? Just go to the 1 minute because we had inducement build-up mitigation, right?
Yep. Second here. So here we have a baby cycle like.
So there's your build-up technically from here to here like this, right? Your channel thing. Then this technically is your vector candle, which induced the structure into mitigation. Now you have what?
Break of structure.
What a surprise!
Oh.
Rolf, have a good one. Legend Rolf.
Yo.
Okay, so can we take this entry helper maybe? Let's see if we have some confirmation.
No.
Oh shit, no. Okay, what's the timing though? As you're in Germany, you have the same.
Yeah.
Is it a good timing to take a trade, maybe to the minute?
Yeah.
So could we take this?
Yeah.
So let's do that. That's your order block right here after the inducement. Obviously, you can play it safe, put your stop above here also if you really wanted to. If you want to take the order block, this is your point of interest. Alright, so you can take it here like this if you want to be safe, or you take the order block if you want to be very risky. Yeah, but there you go. That's your trade. And you aim for, obviously, the low side liquidity. Okay, to the absolute minute.
Yeah. Building. Yeah. No, it doesn't have, so continuing. Yeah.
And off it is. And what a surprise it is also.
It is.
So what's your next liquidity area? I think you marked it up already.
Yeah, I think I will mark it up already. Like.
So let's see what happened.
So now it's vectoring very, very fast, but it's an indication that it's going to induce, that is inducing something on a higher time frame, I think.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, because I would see then this here as a build-up. Right, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, not yet. Obviously, we're still in the phase, right? But we went for next inducement area. So let's see what's the next inducement area. You marked it up. London close. Should induce something if it's the low. Would be perfectly making sense also. So if it's the low, it should not mitigate something to your left. That's literally the rules that we give you. So now it's in this areas, if I'm correct. But as it's London close, it should actually induce something to your left. It should only mitigate something intraday, not to the left.
Only mid-intraday, okay.
So let's see if that makes sense also. Go back. There you go. So London close should induce something. Let's see if it does. What a surprise.
Yeah.
All right, and now obviously the inducement is done. So what's the next thing? You just keep on this 15-minute.
15 minutes?
Yeah, just keep on it. So let's just fast forward it.
So now it's just built.
No, not just in the 15-minute. Just fast forward it a little bit. So this is Asia then, if I'm correct, right? Or not yet?
No.
Okay. Oh, now it's Asia, okay.
No, it's Asia.
Right, so what does it do already? Building the pullback channel, right? Off away from the major or medium inducement, right?
Like something like that?
No, not something like this. Something like this.
Ah.
Right. Right. That induces it. So induces obviously the low. You see, that's where the channel gets induced also. There's a mitigation technically here, where you're already in there, but that's how you induce a channel into the mitigation. You see how it works? And then you get trapped in your own trade down there. But you see how now it slowly makes sense. Jay, have a good one. Good night, my man.
Yeah, that is like I said, like I wasn't looking at this from like a channel perspective. I was just watching it from like doing the opposite of break-off structure.
But do
Like
you see how it makes a little bit more sense now?
yes, it's way more sense, like easier to catch more entries, you know,
Okay,
because
so let's continue actually.
yeah. So now it induced low, so we expect it to go high. M15 or the
Yeah, but now we're still in Asia, so we're not really that interested, right? So you can stay at M5 now also.
M5, huh?
Mm-hmm. So still into the inducement stage of Asia, perfect, right? But guess what? Still into this mitigation zone in here, still in Asia, so we're not interested, right? So perfect. So what's going on? What's the next thing we wait for? Obviously, build-ups, right? Which they technically do already.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Something like that. And so
very good.
And so we just wait where it induces.
Exactly. Now, obviously, we enter our first area of interest in terms of timing aspects, would be obviously after London, after Asia closes.
Frankfurt.
Exactly, our time. And what a surprise if it would induce this one, right?
So this is like the same thing what happened, like it's just
exactly. It's just obviously the smaller picture. You see, it's always the same. Induces the build-up into obviously now our only target area, which is Asia low, which it induces. Perfect. It's still in this valid zone. We don't obviously induces the structure in terms of the cycle, in terms of the channel. And guess what? Is the cycle done now, trading away from the medium inducement?
Medium inducement?
Yes, you have this medium inducement.
Yeah.
You could whatever. It's medium.
No, I just said because he was
right, but you're trading away from that now. Did you have a build up in here? Do you have an inducement of intraday? Do you still validly in the cycle play? Yes. So in the time windows, almost. So the only direction you look for is buys.
Yeah.
See?
Mm-hmm.
And then guess what? There's no sell in here as you had it.
Yeah. Now it's just
makes
like
more sense now.
Yeah, klar.
Okay, yes. Let's fast forward a little bit.
Sorry. Now it's loading again.
And we can change time frame. Oh, there you go. Yeah, but then this thing obviously now, like in sense of like lower time frames, again, that would be your optimal Mona Lisa entry if it whatever did something like this, but it never did. So it is what it is. And then it's just is off without anyone, right? And that's what. Do you understand why this should not be your sell in here? Do you understand it now?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Exactly. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very good. Hope it makes sense.
It makes sense more now. Like